In the upscale suburbs of Colorado Springs, Emma Stanford lived in a glass-walled mansion, the only daughter of venture capitalist David Stanford. At 22, Emma had the world at her feet until a car accident shattered her spine 2 years ago. Since then, her legs had been paralyzed. Multiple hospitals, specialists, even experimental procedures had failed. Though she wore designer clothes and had a custom wheelchair, she spent most days staring out the balcony, watching life pass by. Her father traveled constantly. Her mother busied herself with charity. But Emma? She simply existed in silence until fate took a surprising turn. One spring afternoon, Emma asked her caretaker to take her somewhere quiet, away from cold doctors and sterile walls. She wanted nature. They drove toward the rural edges of El Paso County, where rolling fields met old barns. On a whim, the caretaker pulled into a local farmer's market. Emma rolled down the window and caught the scent of earth, wildflowers, and roasted corn. For the first time in months, she smiled faintly. A small herbal stall caught her attention. Behind it stood a rugged man, sleeves rolled, hands dirty, eyes calm. He wasn't selling hope, just simplicity. His name was Jacob Jacob. Miller was 30, a third-generation farmer with a quiet soul and old-fashioned values. He didn't believe in shortcuts or fame. When Emma's caretaker wheeled her near his booth, Jacob looked up and nodded kindly. "Need anything for anxiety?" he asked gently. Emma smirked. "Need anything for paralysis?" He didn't laugh. Instead, he stepped closer, crouched to eye level, and said, "Maybe not a cure, but maybe we help your body remember itself." Emma blinked. No one had spoken to her like that in 2 years. No pity, no prescription, just belief. She asked him, what would that even look like? Jacob explained that his grandmother had taught him traditional healing massage points, energy grounding, natural resistance techniques. "It's not magic," he said, "but sometimes the body listens when you listen first." Emma, skeptical, but intrigued, asked her caretaker to bring her back next week, and they did. This time, Jacob had set up a chair under a tree near his farm stand. He guided her through breathing, then gently applied rhythmic pressure around her hips and spine. "You'll feel heat or tingling eventually," he said, "not pain. Just attention." Emma scoffed, but secretly, she hoped. For the first time in years, she hoped. Days became weeks. Emma returned again and again. Each time, Jacob added a new step vibration therapy using tuning forks, hot stones on her lower back, barefoot grounding in the soil. At home, she felt exhausted but alive. Her father disapproved at first. "You're wasting time on folklore," he told her. But Emma pushed back. The doctors gave up. He didn't. She began documenting each session, journaling her feelings, physical responses, even her dreams. One night, she felt a cold tingling in her toes. It wasn't much, but it wasn't nothing. She cried alone in her room. It was the first sensation in years. Jacob never celebrated small victories with fanfare. He'd simply nod and say, "See, your body remembers." Emma started practicing movement visualization, guided by his calm voice. "Picture your foot lifting," he'd whisper as her eyes closed. "Picture the ground coming closer." Sometimes, tears streamed down her face, not from sadness, but from emotional release. Jacob never rushed her. He was patient, kind, and surprisingly wise for someone who never went to medical school. "You don't need a cure," he said once. "You need connection to yourself, to nature, to belief." Emma began to believe, not in miracles, but in her own strength. Then, one day under a cottonwood tree, it happened. Jacob had just finished a reflex point sequence when Emma suddenly jerked. Her left foot moved slightly. Startled, she gasped. "Jacob, I felt that." He smiled without surprise. "The body never lies." Over the next few weeks, with his help, she regained more control. Slight ankle twitches became knee movements. Her doctors were baffled. "Spinal damage doesn't just reverse," one said. "Yet, you're progressing." David Stanford flew in from New York to witness it himself. When he saw Emma raise her leg off the cushion on her own, he went silent for a full minute. David approached Jacob that evening. "What are you doing that science couldn't?" he asked. Jacob shrugged, listening, slowing down, making her feel like she's not broken. Emma nearby smiled. He gave me permission to try again. Eventually, Jacob introduced mild standing therapy with custom braces. Using parallel bars Jacob built himself, Emma stood shaking, crying but upright. "Look at me," she whispered. Her caretaker clapped. Jacob didn't. He simply held her hand and said, "You did that." "Not me." Emma started walking short. Steps with crutches by midsummer. Her transformation wasn't instant, but it was real. Her courage grew. So did her connection with Jacob. The bond between Emma and Jacob deepened quietly. He never crossed lines, never acted out of pity. He treated her like someone becoming whole, not someone needing saving. They shared stories about city life, farm life, their fears, their favorite songs. One evening, Emma brought him a book of poetry. "This reminds me of how you speak," she said. He opened it and read aloud under the stars. Later she admitted, "You made me believe I wasn't useless." He leaned in slightly. "You never were." Though unspoken, something strong pulsed between them, built not on sympathy, but on shared transformation. By autumn, Emma could walk unassisted for up to 3 minutes. Her progress became national news. Media vans parked near the farm. Reporters called Jacob a miracle healer. He declined every interview. "I didn't heal her. She chose to rise." A wellness institute offered him a 6-figure job. He refused. "My healing happens in soil, not glass offices." Emma was offered documentary deals. She said no. Some things don't need to be sold. Instead, she asked Jacob, "Can we help others?" Together, they built a tiny healing barn with wide ramps, meditation benches, and warm tea. They welcomed anyone who came with belief.